Hey, what's up you guys? It's Makai again, and I hope you all are doing well. Today is going to be a pretty fun video because I'm going to be critiquing my most recent illustration. I think it turned out pretty good with some major mistakes, but we'll talk about that later. First things first though, I made a Twitter, so hip hip hooray! It's the same as my username, so you can go follow that if you want for art and whatever else I'll talk about there. But I also gotta say, thank you for all the support on that last video. I don't know what the YouTube algorithm did, but I woke up to so many comments on that first day and I was shocked. But thank you to everyone who commented, liked, subbed, watched the video. I appreciate all the love, for real, for real. I'm surprised that it resonated with so many people because I kind of just made it as a video for myself. But it made me really happy to see all the people who wanted to start sharing their art or who have just started sharing their art. It was really nice to see, you know. I hope you guys will enjoy watching my progress, ramblings, and many drawings of Maki-zen. And hey, I'm a little obsessed, but you know, it gives me all the more reason to draw. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my little illustration for the month. I hope I can make another one before the month ends, but I'm probably just going to be studying. The character I drew was Aphrodite from the Fortnite Battle Royale Chapter 5 Season 2 Myths and Mortals Battle Pass. Or just from Fortnite. I've been playing the game a lot these past couple months, and when I saw this character's concept art, I was like, whoa, I need to draw her. Especially because they changed her design so much in the final product, and it kind of made me sad to see. So something I tried to do with this was to kind of keep it cel shaded. I didn't want to use a lot of soft shadows, and I wanted to limit the colors because I wanted to really base this off this Persona portrait that I use as reference. Shout out to Persona 4 for giving us this. I hope they make Persona 5 Arena, but I kind of doubt they will at this point. Adding up all my recordings, this took me 16 hours and 45 minutes, which is including breaks, and my breaks were really inconsistent, but who really cares about the time? I finished it, and that's all that really matters, right? I did forget to record an actual time-lapse in Clip Studio, so I'll try to remember to do that next time. So, for my process, I started out with some big ol' shapes. I just used some boxes and spheres to try to get a good feel of where I wanted things to be. I gotta mention this, but the initial hurdle of starting a drawing is definitely something. My first session, when I had to do all the sketch work, I really hated the first 45 minutes of it. I was just thinking to myself, damn, this sucks, I really hate this. But then the intrusive thoughts calmed down after a while and I just continued drawing in peace till I got tired. Doing the line art was calm. I told myself I didn't want to stay on line art for too long, especially because I made the sketch pretty clean. It was an easy process, just listening to some music while doing it, and I still think I could have done it quicker, but it turned out pretty well in the end. When I got to the first wave of coloring, I hated it. I was really annoyed with how dull her skin looked because I really wanted her skin to look more full, more saturated, but I was getting really frustrated with the outcome, so I ended my session early to take some time to look for reference. And after looking through some other people's art, I was like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. That makes more sense. And then the next day I proceeded to use some warmer colors for my base and shadows, and wow, she looked stunning and very much alive. For the hair, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with the hair. I feel like the end product lacks definition. It doesn't feel very full. I wanted it to have more shadows to give it more form, but I didn't really know how I wanted to do that. I'll chalk that up to me not having enough references for the coloring I wanted, so I'll remember to gather more next time. For the clothes, I think I did okay, but I feel like I could have pushed the cel shading way more here. I think it lacks a lot of darks, which kind of makes it look flat and boring, but it probably also is the anatomy making it look weird. I like how the breastplate looks, but at the same time, I think it could have been shinier. And the golden heart chain she has, I wish I could have made this look better. I think this one might need some more shine to it, but I'll look at some more armor references in the future. Okay, the eyes. So this was one of the main things I asked for critique because I didn't know how to really make those eyes shine. They turned out kind of boring, but when I finally colored them in, I was like, whoa, she looks so pretty now, literally radiating. And when I was getting this critiqued and I got a paint over for this, they made her look beautiful, stunning, oh my goodness. My mistakes were so very clear after seeing this paint over. The rendering process was short, mainly just spent time cleaning things up and making some parts more defined. while also adding this really cool reflective lighting on it, which made it look so much cooler. And for the background, I just wanted to make it something simple because, you know, it was just a simple below the bust drawing. So orange with some white, a classic. And then I added a little shadow on her for the back. And yeah, that's how I made my illustration. Now on to the critique. In my last video, I did say I was going to go out and ask for critique. And I gotta say, it was a nerve-wracking experience. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous to do this. I decided to send it to Picat's Discord. She's a really great creator. I really love her art and I love the streams. So I typed up my message, reread it aloud like 20 times, and finally hit send. And man, did I feel very embarrassed. Not just because I made mistakes, but it was just a little embarrassing having people look at your stuff. But, you know, I'm gonna get used to this feeling in time, so I'm not gonna stress over it. So my main question was about the coloring and how to make my eyes shine way more because, yeah, they were very muted. So as you can see, I got some advice from them and wow, it was really great. What I took away from this text is that I should try to focus on using highlights to give my forms more readability, which, I agree. They gave me a reference from Hades as an example, a game I have yet to play, but one of my friends really loves it. And I was like, oh, I see, you know, like I was like, oh, see, that's a really great reference. And I really should have tried to find more. I think that's just like a big lesson learned, and I'm going to talk about that later. But big lesson learned was, you know, I really needed more references for this. Regarding the eyes, I was told to try to make them more anatomically subtle / like plausible, which at first I didn't fully understand what this meant, but it was probably because it was really late at night, so my brain was not working. But I reread it later and I was like, oh, okay, I understand this. The way I drew them made them look kind of plastered on and a little flat, because they didn't really conform to the shape of the eyeball, I believe, which I agree with. They did mention how I could just leave it as is for a stylistic choice, but I definitely want to improve on this next time because I wasn't really happy with how the eyes turned out. One thing I did mention were the ears being too high because I realized right as I was finishing that they were way too high. But it turns out that wasn't the only issue. It was the entire jawline. The part that goes up to connect to your ears was basically non-existent in this drawing, so it kind of just looked like a swoop to the ear, which makes it look very weird anatomically. Shout out to Scarlet because I did a paint over correcting some of my mistakes, including the jawline, with them pointing out that the body I drew was kind of flat and that it was not as 3D as it could have been. Which I only noticed a bit when I finished, which great. Noticing things when you finish is one of the best feelings, I say sarcastically. It surprised me because I thought my boxes were okay when I started, but somewhere along the sketching phase I definitely messed up. They also gave me a little tip on how to make those eyes really pop. So I want to say thank you to Tejarko and ScarletForce because you two are amazing, and if you see this, you're awesome. I feel like I learned a lot here. Critique is pretty cool, guys. I can see now why people always say to get critique in their videos. I've only gotten a small amount of my time as an artist, so this is a really fun, albeit kind of nerve-wracking experience. I made this really quick paint over trying to apply some of the advice I got, and I definitely need to take more time really understanding cell shading and shading in general because this is a hurdle. This is a big hurdle. You can see that I definitely messed up the shoulder here. I'm honestly not really sure how to fix the shoulder because I want to make it look like she has a translucent sleeve while also keeping that blue highlight, but there's just something about the line work and coloring here that I just cannot put my finger on. Also, I tried to fix the eyes a bit, but I just don't know how to fix them. I feel like I have a decent grasp on the critique I got about them, but trying to fix this, I couldn't really do it. So I'm going to need to practice some more with that. So what did I learn from this experience? I feel like I took a little long on this one because I kind of got caught up in small details and I was Control-Zing a lot. So I'm going to try to be a little more messy next time. The coloring and line art were definitely the standouts here because I don't color things often, so I didn't expect to go crazy with it. I did try to go for a cell shaded style here, and I'd like to attempt it again, but I really want to try to learn more painted styles. because I love me some painted works. Ooh, I love them so much. I've tried my hand at it many times before, but oh my gosh, I am so bad. Muddy colors all the time. I suck. So it's something I definitely need to put a lot more time into researching and experimenting with, because I really want to be able to make beautiful stuff like this. Also, I'm definitely going to look into Hades for more cel shaded references, because whew, the art is beautiful. The art is so pretty. Overall though, this was definitely a skill check. I need to work a lot more on my fundamentals, like making sure that my anatomy is good and whatnot. But I think that's all for what I really learned. All in all, it was quite the battle. I felt like I challenged myself a good amount here, and I feel like I learned a lot from this. I'm definitely going to do some smaller sketches and try to snag a lot more references for next time. And I will add, feel free to critique this. If you find anything that looks odd here, I'd appreciate any great advice. But I think that's all from me. Another quick reminder that I did make a Twitter, so if you want to go follow me there, go for it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look forward to more, and I'll see you later.